move to the next slide. Everyone knows this guy? Gary Vee, okay? He talks about storytelling, okay? He's saying it's the most underrated skill in business today, right? This guy, anyone know him? Seth Godin. He's written 20 books, 20 best-selling books on the New York Times bestseller list, okay? And he talks about today how marketing is about stories and storytelling. Okay? Everybody knows this guy, okay? Steve Jobs. Okay? Steve Jobs says that the most powerful person in the world, okay, is the storyteller. Okay? Like, I mean, read that again. The most powerful person. No, I didn't say that. Steve Jobs is saying it. Okay? Now, what really, okay, is Steve Jobs talking about? What kind of stories? Is he talking about the stories that you heard when you were a child, where as your mom put you to bed, or is it the stories you heard when your friend's wedding last weekend? What stories are they talking about? Okay, so today we're going to go into that storytelling. Okay, to go into not the storytelling that you are telling your friends. Okay, that's not what this is about. Today is about storytelling for business, for profit, to get ranked on page 1 on Google. This is the session we're going to talk about today. Okay, you guys interested? Yeah. Okay, let's move. Right. So we're talking here about storytellers who are makers of meaning. So what is that? What do I mean by that? Okay, so let me explain to you. Okay, there are basically 3 kinds of stories in the world. Okay, according to me. One is the story that you tell yourself. Okay, that's your inside your head. That story. Okay, and this story is the story which when you wake up in the morning, you know, your eyes are all crusty, you look horrible, you go and look in the mirror like that, right? And then you see yourself, and what looks back at you, you say, oh, I'm fat, I'm ugly, I'm stupid, I'm poor, I'm not, I'm what? Okay? Or you say, I'm rich, I'm confident, I'm ready to take on the world. Whatever it is, that's the story you tell yourself, right? So that's that. But you know, when you walk out of your room, when you walk out of your house, you know, you've got your best clothes on, you're wearing makeup, you've made yourself up, you've got, you know, all this kind of nice stuff, and you go to work or you go for your meetings, okay? That is your image, which is the story you tell other people, okay? It's the story that you tell others. So the first one is the story you tell yourself, and the story you tell other people, okay? And the last one, the one at the bottom, okay, is the stories that others tell about you, okay? So the stories others tell about you is your reputation. Now, as a marketer, as an SEO specialist, as somebody who wants to build brands, okay? Remember, how many of you were at Neil Patel's session yesterday? Okay. So Neil Patel talked about SEO becoming more about building a brand rather than going for keywords, okay? Building a brand. So if you want to build a brand through SEO, look at the little orange thing, that little orange there. The difference between your reputation, which is the stories others tell about you, and the stories you tell others, this is the golden gap. Okay, this is the golden gap where you have the best opportunity to make meaning for people. Okay, so let me give you an example. So I want to wear a Rolex watch, okay, because my story is I want to seem to be successful, okay, more than I am. And Rolex helps me to show that success. Okay, Rolex is part of my story now. Okay, so you know, in a story, like we all watch movies, right? So in the movie, you've got the bad guy, the good guy, the hero or the heroine, all the supporting characters, right? And so one of those actors in there, in that story, you need to be that for the customer, right? You need to be a part of their story, okay? Most of the big brands you see today, okay, when they do brand building, they make the biggest mistake in storytelling for business, okay? And that is, they try to be the hero inside the customer's story, okay? They say, oh, look at my brand, look at how great we are, and we are great, we are this, look how big we are, look how many years we've been in business, look how awesome we are. And the customer is like, who cares, right? If I come and tell you, hey, I'm this, I'm that, I'm that, I'm that, who cares, right? What you care is, what can you do for me, right? So it's the same thing, right? So you don't want to be the hero of the story. You want to be the player of the story. So if you take James Bond, we're all familiar with James Bond, right? You don't want to be James Bond. You want to be Q that gives James Bond the tools that makes James Bond look great. Okay, so Rolex or Mercedes or all these great brands, right? So Mercedes makes me look successful. That's why I want to arrive in a Mercedes-Benz. Okay, it's part of my story. I've embraced Mercedes-Benz. Okay, so this is a key thing here, and of course we're going to have questions later on. So if you need any clarification about this, but this is a simple way. Okay, find the golden gap for your buyer, right? Find that gap and fill that gap. Okay, so let's keep going. No problem. Right, so while waiting for technical, right, I just want to share with you a little bit more about storytelling to the point that we have come so far. And I want to share with you that storytelling, right, is the fastest way to actually get the job done, okay? And so just to clarify again, their story, your story, our story, okay? That's how it works. So the story that you want to tell, okay, you need to resonate with your story. So any brand that you wear today, whether it's Nike, Rolex, Apple, any of these brands, okay, you're wearing these brands because they are part of you. Okay, they are part of you, and you're proud to carry them. Okay. So I'm going to just push on through. This is another researcher who talks about the reason why we are so interested in story is because the way our brains are built. Okay, the way our brains are built is we are built for story. Today we've got all the amazing stuff, okay? But in the old days, we didn't have that, you know? And I remember when I started my SEO journey in Australia, and I'll explain to you, it was easy to do SEO, right? But now it's getting more and more difficult. Google is getting more and more difficult to deal with, right? The world is getting more complex and complicated, right? So, I'm just going to go through this, right? So again, yeah, so we're talking about relationships is the key today, brands, okay? You're going to make it magical for people, okay? So, so here's an example of HSBC, right? So remember, yeah, I'm sure yesterday we spoke about SEO, okay? And SEO being something where the search engines want to rank you higher. But what is the search engine criteria? Okay, there are hundreds of criteria, okay, but they all boil down to one thing: user experience. Okay, all the criteria, Google wants to optimize for speed, for this, for that, tag, meta tags, clarification, It's for what? User experience. And if you can make a fantastic user experience, right, the algorithms will just love you, okay, and rank your page like crazy, right? Okay, so here is HSBC. Same thing can make different meanings to different people. Okay, so HSBC's brand is the world's local bank. This is when they were trying this, and they were trying to say that we are a very big brand, okay, and we come from afar, we're very big, but we can be local. Okay, so this here more examples, right, which I'm not going to cover today. We don't have much time, but really, the same thing can mean different things to different people because of their inner stories that they're telling themselves. And they have different reasons to like the same product. So, now that we're talking about storytelling, can I share with you my story? Can I? Yeah? Okay, thank you. I'm actually from Malaysia, right? I'm based out of Singapore now, but truth be told, I've spent more time outside Malaysia than in Malaysia, right? I was born in a place near the border of Thailand. How many people have been to Malaysia? Okay, quite a few hands, good. Right, so I was born you've probably been to Kuala Lumpur, okay? I was born as far as you can from Kuala Lumpur, okay? Which is near the Thai border. And this is my kampong, right? This is where I was born, my village. In the north of Malaysia, and I was born before the internet. So it just tells you one thing, it was very boring, okay? My childhood was very free of all this stuff, and I just had to make do with the stuff that was there. But anyway, fast forward a couple of years, I ended up in the UK, because I've got family in the UK as well, and I went to university in Scotland. Anyone from the UK here? Or been to the UK? Okay, fine, great. Okay, so I went up to Scotland where it's really cold, and I want to tell you about, so I went to study accounting and finance. Okay, I went to study accounting and finance, and one day, somebody told me that there was a sexy French professor teaching consumer behavior marketing subjects, right? So I was like, wow, French, sexy, okay, I'm going to go there. So like I'm studying accounting and finance, right? So it's like nothing to do with marketing. But so I went there, and of course she was French. She was like 55 years old, married, with glasses, and looked very unappealing, right? But I did fall in love. I did, not with her, but I fell in love with what she was saying, the content, okay? She talked about consumer behavior, psychology. This is so different from my accounting and finance, because in accounting and finance, 2 plus 2 equals to 4. That's it. 2 plus 2 does not equal to 22. It's wrong, okay? So, but in marketing, 2 plus 2, if 2 plus 2 doesn't equal to 22, then what does it equal to, right? So it was like the opposite. Like it was so creative and looking for different ways of understanding things. I was hooked on marketing, okay? But what really got me, okay, was this thing. Okay, how many of you drink any kind of cola drink here? Coke or Pepsi or whatever, okay? How many people like Coke? Okay, how many people like Pepsi? Okay, good. Now, the world, at least when I was doing it, at that time, was divided into two. The Coke lovers and the Pepsi lovers. Okay? Me, Coke lover, for sure. Okay? I was so much of a Coke lover that if I went to a restaurant and they said, sorry sir, we've got Pepsi, I'll be like, no, give me orange juice. Okay? I was that much really loving my Coke. Right? So I went to this thing, and have you heard of this thing called the blind taste test? Where you basically, it's like blindfold, right? And then you taste it, all the drinks, and then you choose the one that you like. Okay? So we did this test at university at my class. Okay? And I said, sure, I'm going to choose Coke because that's my favorite drink. Okay? So there were 6 brands that we chose, right? Like I don't know the taste. There was Coke, Diet Coke, Diet Pepsi, Pepsi, and 2 other brands, okay, the British cola brands. Guess which one I chose as my favorite? Okay, you guessed it. So I chose Pepsi. I love Coke, but I chose Pepsi. And not only did I choose Pepsi, I chose the Diet Pepsi. Okay? So like when I tasted it, I was like, wow. And in Singapore, they say, sure, no, right? So I tasted it again. And I was like, yeah, this is the one, right? I was so happy that I found my perfect drink because it really tastes better. The Diet Pepsi was my favorite taste. That weekend, I went to the supermarket to go grocery shopping. Okay, so I had to buy my drinks, right? Okay, what did I buy? How many people in the room here say I bought Coke? Okay. How many people in the room here say I bought Pepsi? Okay. I bought Coke. Okay? And this is interesting. I bought Coke. My mind was telling me no. No, Pepsi is, Pepsi is better. My head was telling me. But my heart was saying, I can't be seen with a Pepsi in my hand. I'm a Coke guy, right? So my mind was saying, no, Pepsi is the better one, but my hand pulled out the Coke and put it in my trolley. Okay? So this is where I said, my God, Coke has done something to my brain, right? Coke has done something to my brain because I know what's good for me, or I know what's good for my tongue, I know what I like, but in the end, I choose something else because this brand has done something to my head. So that's when I said, wow, this is something I really want to get into. So what have they done? Today I'm going to share with you. Okay, what Coke did for me, later I will share with you specifically. Okay, so let's jump on. So, okay, so this is my history. Like, okay, when Ruben talked about all the great things I did, okay, that's great, okay? But I am just going to fast forward all that, and I'm going to tell you all the not so great things that happened, right? So here I was at the end of my stint with HSBC. I had just done a very large branding project, and for the first time in the history, right? Usually HSBC is number 2 to Citibank. Okay, Citibank is the largest bank, the brand in the world for banking. Okay, globally. And for the first time, we were ranked on the Interbrand 100 list. Okay, ahead of Apple, ahead of Nike, and ahead of Citibank. Okay, and this is me, right? So I am an expatriate. I work for HSBC. I've got 200 people reporting to me in my team. Okay, so imagine this: flying business class. I've got my, I was in London, in Canary Wharf, where HSBC Tower is. I was in India, where they had their hub there. And in India, you've got like the car, driver, food, everything. Expatriate life. Okay, what a fantastic life, right? So I actually felt like I was on top of the world, right? I was like the coolest guy around. Little did I know that less than 100 days from that point, I would be jobless, broke, and in a strange new country. Can you imagine that? Would you like to hear what happened? Yeah, okay, it's not pretty, okay? So suddenly, I was thrust into a complete thing. So how did it happen? Well, as you know, I'm Malaysian. Okay, so my next job was with an Aussie bank. All right. So the headhunter told me, "Look, the job is waiting for you, but we need a work permit." So I was like, "Okay, no problem. We can get a work permit because I was migrating to Australia anyway." So I got my migration agent to work the work permit, and I got a conditional offer from the bank. So far, so good. Problem. The agent who made the application made one small mistake in the application. Okay? And so my work permit got delayed. Not rejected, delayed. Delayed by 30 days, right? 30 days. So normally it's supposed to take 30 days. It took another 30 days. Okay, so it's 60 days, right? But in that delayed 30 days, the bank that was supposed to hire me, started firing a lot of their employees. Why? Global financial crisis. This is 2008. Okay, 2008. So by this time, I come to Australia, and I'm already in Australia, but no job. So before that, I was like, I got job, no work permit. Now, I got the work permit, I got no job. I said, okay, no problem. I'm great, right? I'm really fantastic. I'm a really amazing person, so I can easily get a job, right? So I started my journey of applying for jobs. And one after the other, all my job, everyone was just getting, rejected and rejected and rejected. I went through 152 rejections. Okay, imagine, right? You're looking for a job. After someone says, oh, sorry, you're not suitable, sorry, it doesn't work. I got all the excuses under the sun. All the excuses under the sun. Sorry, you're too qualified. Or sorry that, we are not looking at this right now. And everything just didn't work for me. Okay, so very depressed and very. And by this time I bought a house, I bought a ere in Australia because I'm migrating, right? So all my savings is gone, right? And I was newly married at the time also. So all these expenses were coming, and so I'm broke, I'm jobless, and at my lowest point, right? The lowest point, I went and worked in a call center, telemarketing, right? Telemarketing, and I tried to make calls, right? And even that, because I wasn't good at it anymore, I wasn't in practice, right? After a while, my boss said, I'm sorry, it's not working out. You're fired. So it's like, oh my God, this is really the worst thing that can ever happen. I got fired from the easiest job to do, which is just calling customers, on the phone. So I was like, really, this is my lowest point. Anyway, so all these odd jobs doing, and suddenly one day I met a guy. So at this point, I started doing SEO stuff as well, right? I was like starting doing some content writing for websites and stuff. So one of my clients told his friend, oh, this guy does some, they didn't call it SEO then, they call it the keyword stuffing, but we won't talk about that right now, right? So he said, oh, you do stuff for websites. Do you do videos? Okay, look, I have a video camera, an old video camera from my house, but I don't do videos, right? So when the guy said, hey, do you do videos? I said, yes, I do videos. He said, good, come to my office this Friday afternoon, 3 p.m., I'll see you there. I said, oh my God, what have I got myself into? Okay, never mind. I took my video camera on Friday and I went to his place, okay? He was a financial planner, okay? He was a financial planner with offices in Brisbane and the Gold Coast. Okay, so he was a very small player. And but he had a great idea to interview his customers, right? He started interviewing his customers with amazing stories. So he was selling insurance, and the insurance that he was selling, they were, sometimes the insurance covers you, even when it was like sometimes a bit funny, and the insurance still covers you, and so it was like success stories, okay? So there was one time, there was this guy, his daughter was in the Olympics, and she died, okay? She died just all of a sudden. So imagine like your daughter, who is a hero and part of the Olympics team, and the next morning you get a call, sorry, your daughter is dead in an accident, right? So this guy became so depressed that he couldn't work. He couldn't think, he couldn't do anything, okay? Now, 3 years before this, he was playing golf with my client, who is the financial planner, right? And the guy was like, hey, you know what? If something happens to you, you should take this disability insurance, to help it'll help your family when maybe if you can't work or whatever. And he's like, okay, sign me on, right? So he signed them on, and now the insurance kicked in. Okay, so when he told this story, like, you know, about his daughter dying, like tears and whatever came to my eyes, you know, and it was such an emotional moment. Okay, so anyway, sorry, I put this guy's videos up there, okay, on his website, and he went from page 10 to page 1 in 7 days, right? I was like shocked. This was 2009, okay? Google had recently bought YouTube then, and they were optimizing for video like crazy. The other thing is there was storytelling inside it, right? These things were being shared, and so his page rank went up, right? So that's when I realized the power of storytelling, okay? Now, I'm running out of time, so I'm not going to go into a lot more, but these are my clients, okay? So today I teach people how to grow their sales, okay? And so at one point I had one of my clients, right? I grew their sales from 600,000 to 6 million, okay? And I thought I was really great, okay? I thought I was really awesome. And then I met this guy. He's my mentor, and he was in HubSpot, and he's employee number 6 of HubSpot. He grew from HubSpot from 1 million to 100 million US dollars. Okay, so I was like, oh my god, I thought I did a 10x and it was great, and this guy did a 100x, and I realized, you know, it's a completely different. So I wrote a book about it. And learn the way how you do it, and it's a completely different way. Okay. So anyway, today I do training with the New York Sales Academy, and my mission in life is to help touch 10,000 entrepreneurs in 10 years. Okay. Touch them, meaning that put money in their pocket. Okay, not just inspire them. Okay. Right. So from this point onwards, I want you to. I'm just going to rush through. Okay. Now. Quickly, we don't have much time, but I want to tell you that there's a big trend going on. It's going to affect your SEO. Okay. What's the world's most valuable resource? Let me ask you. How many people say oil? Raise your hands. How many people say gold? How many say data? Okay, you are right. But there's one resource even more important than data. Can you guys guess what it is? Some people say time. Anyone else? Some people say, well, you know, I get all these answers, okay? Let me explain to you by giving you this case study, okay? In 2008, it was a horrible year for Mike Zuckerberg. Fair enough, you know, he was with the Cambridge Analytica and Facebook. Everyone hated Facebook, the media hated Facebook, right? But something funny happened at the end of 2008, after all the problems. Okay, Facebook showed a $17 billion Q4 profit. That's just for one quarter, yeah? Just for 3 months, the last 3 months, they did 17 billion, and it was 30% more than the year before. So they grew by 30%. Okay? So then 2019, even more problems for Facebook. Okay, the problems continue. And at the end of 2019, same thing again. Another 30% growth. Okay? What's going on? Everyone hates Facebook, right? Everyone is complaining about Facebook, but they're growing by 30% year on year. Okay? So it's because, okay, Facebook has got a sweet spot in a brand new economy. And if you don't know how to monetize in this economy, you are in trouble. Okay, you'll always be struggling because you'll always wonder, like, what happened? Why am I doing everything right, but still my page is not working, my rank is not working, my brand is not sticking out? It's because you don't understand that we are in a new economy now. And I'm going to share with you this economy. Okay? It's called the attention economy. Okay? It's called the attention economy. You are now living in the attention economy. If you don't understand this, you are in trouble. Okay? So, the attention economy, look, 100 million tweets, all these YouTube videos, every single day, we are being overloaded, okay? Attention is so important today, right? And it's not stopping. There's more data coming, okay? There's more and more data coming. Every minute, new videos are being added, new content being added, right? And what is the content? Stuff like this, okay? So you as brand marketers or as SEO brands, you're competing against this, okay? You know this one? This cat here? Grumpy cat, okay? 2 million followers on YouTube, okay? And this one, Sam, sorry. This one, Sam, he was born with 2 black strips on his head, right? Which looks like eyebrows. So Sam has got 250,000 followers on Instagram. Okay? How many of you got even 10,000 followers on Instagram? Right? This cat has got 250. Okay? So this is who you're competing with, right? You're not competing even with your competitors. Right? So the question is, we've got the attention economy, right? What is the new currency for this economy? What is the new currency, right? You have got Indonesia economy got rupiah, US economy got dollar, right? Attention economy has what? What are you trading? What are you exchanging in this economy? Very important. When you go to a new economy, if you want to go to the US and you want to take your rupiah, the guy will say, "I'm sorry, sir, we don't accept Indonesian rupiah in this country. You need to get it changed into US dollars," right? Same here, right? We accept rupiah here. So when you enter the attention economy, what is the currency? Any guesses? Okay. This is the this is money. Okay? This is money. You need to get trust. Right? This is money. This is the one that's going to give you success. Okay? But it's difficult online because of fake news. Okay? A lot of problems. People don't trust you. Okay? So I'm just gonna go fast, okay, to the second trend, which is what we all know. Okay, people don't want to look at our ads. They don't want to look at our content. They prefer to look at cats and babies, right? And they don't want us to call us. Okay. So what's happening now is that all the videos are getting shorter, right? How many of you in marketing more than a few years, you've seen your videos are getting shorter and shorter, right? Your posts are getting shorter and shorter. Your website content is, people don't like to watch videos. People want to skip, right? Okay? So that's the understanding, right? I'm here today to change your mind. Okay? I'm here today to tell you that that is not true. And this is it, okay? I'll explain to you why. We're coming to the third trend. All right, now, how many of you have skipped an ad? Yeah? How many of you have skipped your YouTube videos? You scroll past because you want to get to the end, right? Okay? The same people who skip ads and skip videos and skim through content, okay? That same person, that same you, okay, can sit in a cinema, in a movie theater, for 1.5 hours. That same you, the one who's skipping all the ads, okay, the one who's so impatient, you can sit in the cinema, okay? That same you can do binge watching on Netflix. Yes, yes, we are all guilty, okay? We are so impatient, we have no time, but we have time for binge watching on Netflix, right? Why? That's the question. Why? One word, story. Okay, so they did a study in the UK, and they looked at people who are binge watching content, who are binging on content, and they found that these are the things. Most of them are using digital tools like ad blockers to block away distractions so that they can binge on a story. Okay, 85% of them expect a story, and they're streamlining their day to be more effective so that they are not being distracted easily. Okay, so sorry, can I just check how many minutes do I have left? 15 minutes left for Q&A. Okay. Okay, guys, I'm just going to quickly wrap up because we don't have a whole lot of time. But this is your key takeaway. Okay, your very, very key takeaway is this: if you want to make money, and this dollar sign here means success. Yeah, so money comes in the form of, in terms of SEO, in terms of marketing, it comes in the form of attention. Okay, it comes in the form of being on page 1. It's being visible, right, and getting traffic. Okay, so if you want to get all of this, you need one thing which is very important, which is to be able to grab their attention. Okay, but more than that, okay, the recipe needs one more thing, which is to hold their attention. Because all your content right now is only just grabbing attention right now. Okay, because it doesn't have a story in it. Okay, so I don't want to go into the next one yet. Let me just get some Q&A questions. Let's make it useful for you. Okay, let's make this session useful for you. Let's have any questions? Yes, please come to the front.
If you have any question, then we provide the microphone over here. You can as well take the line, just like yesterday. All right.
Hi,
thank you.
My name is Tiur. Our company is a software implementation service, and our client is corporate. So the one that I want to ask you is how is the implementation of storytelling when our product is a complex product and the client is corporate, not individual.
Can you repeat? What's your product again?
We sell software implementation services.
Software implementation.
Yeah, correct.
So you're a B2B.
Correct. Yeah, we are a B2B company.
Okay.
Is it relevant, the storytelling concept, and what will be the implementation if still relevant?
Okay. So just to clarify, she's selling a B2B product, and you have a field sales force who go and knock on the client's door, right? Okay. As long as you're selling to a human, you need a story. Okay? Simple as that. Your storytelling works because you are, remember we talked about the story that you tell yourself and the story you tell others, right? So when you're selling B2B especially, there are two kinds of stories. One is a professional story, which, say for example, I'm the buyer in the company and I sit down and you come to me, right? And you say, oh, I've got the software which is really awesome. It can do this for you, da 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 da. Okay? That is only the professional part. In my heart, I have a personal story too. So I was like, how is this going to make me get a promotion with my boss? How is this going to make me look, right? So whenever you talk about storytelling for offline, you've got to take both personal and professional together. A lot of salespeople make this mistake, right? They say, look, I got the best product. I got the most awesome product. It's so logical, you should use it. But you don't know what's inside the company. There's so much of politics going on. And sometimes, even though your product is perfect, if it doesn't fit in the story of the right stakeholders, game over, right? So I hope, does that answer your question, right? So it works for SEO and also for offline, yes.
Hi, I'm Yulia. Thank you so much for the speech. I have a similar question. We also sell to clients directly. I have a travel blog that kind of grew from my personal story, my personal expertise to bigger something where we have writers. And now I'm kind of in between. I'm deciding if I should continue the storytelling line to only like my my brand, or should we enlarge and be a company that people trust? And I kind of understand that it's better to be a person that people, think about, but I also don't want to be the only person whose, attention, like the whole business depends just on my presence. So what do you think is better?
Okay, so she's a great example, a great question, because she started her own business like a lot of us. When we want to start out, we start out on our own, and then we start doing well, right? And all of a sudden we become famous, and then suddenly we have no more time because 100 people need us, right? In all this thing, we just don't have time. So we start hiring people. But you know what? Those people cannot ever be like us because they are them and me, right? Kind of thing. So, and all the customers want to only come to me. And as I start growing more and more, I start thinking, you know what? If I actually make a company and make a brand, people won't, I don't have to rely on me anymore. Then the brand will stand on its own, and then I can really grow big and I can do all these things. Okay, to answer that question is two things. Unless you're doing $100 million US, okay, people still look at who is behind the company, right? Unless you're a brand like Nike, HSBC, Citibank, which are these very large brands, right? Unless you're that, people will still say like, oh, ABC, I wonder who is behind. So the About Us page is the most visited page after the home page, okay? Because people want to know who's behind the company. So don't lose that that thing. But at the same breath, you need to see how stretchable is your brand. Because sometimes if you're doing something that is because you're so ambitious, you start going to new areas, right? You end up looking like a fake, right? People will be like, yeah, you're not authentic anymore because you're doing something that's out of your space, right? So it really depends on you and your situation, but look at your stretchability and don't lose your identity.
Unless I have 100,000.
Yeah, 100 million.
100 million
sales, and you can start thinking about it. But even Apple, which is a $1 billion company, they still have a spokesperson like Steve Jobs, right? Or now Tim Cook, right? Elon Musk is a multi-billion-dollar company, right? They still have that personality. So if you are lucky enough to have a personality and a following, right? Why corporatize it? Why make it into a boring old company when you can be still you? Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Hi, I'm Sanford. I'm currently a university student.
Yes.
But then I have a question regarding the issue with Facebook, because you said that nowadays the trust is basically the currency of the current economy, right? But then there's an issue of that Facebook is facing that is basically about trust on their users, on how can they trust Facebook any longer. But then we know that they actually prevailed with it, like they're still having increasingly better and better income of growth and the company itself. So I'm just asking, what is the limit of, when you say storytelling, we know that like some people will think of marketers as people who basically make up stories or make shift these like facts, and this is concerning for a lot of people, including with Facebook's case. So when will we draw the borderline, or when will we say like, oh, it's time for us to like maybe think more of like what is better for the people, and how do you actually know what is okay to be more exaggerated, let's say, or something that is more not exactly the facts, but it's more of a story. Like, where do we know it's okay, or when can we know that it will be accepted by the people, by our potential customers?
Okay, so that's a two-part question, I believe. The first part is, why is Facebook, we talk about trust, right? Like Facebook sold the data to other people, right? Your data, right? So why are we still using Facebook? Okay? So let me ask you something. How much did you pay for your Facebook membership last month? How much? You guys didn't pay? Oh my God, Facebook didn't block your account? Facebook didn't shut you down? Facebook, you volunteered yourself to Facebook, okay? And to be honest, you don't even care, right? What we see in the media, is the 1% that cares. Okay, 99% of the world population don't care what people do with their data. They just want to use their Facebook, right? They just want to use that. They just want to connect with it, right? So that's why we have this problem, because of awareness. Number one, that people don't care, and number two is that it's free. So no one put a gun to your head and said you need to use Facebook. You didn't pay for Facebook. Okay, that's the first point. The second point is, where do we draw the line, right? Where do we draw the line in terms of when to tell a story, when not to tell a story, and how this works? So, okay, we didn't have time today for me to go really deeper into the thing, because this is a very interesting topic, and I'm very passionate about it. So, to come to you very briefly, it depends. That's the answer. Okay? It depends on your target market. It depends on also the stage of the buyer journey. So the buyer journey is divided into 4 phases: unaware, problem aware, solution aware, product aware. Okay? From unaware, they don't know that they don't know. Then aware, they know that they don't know. Right? They know, but they don't know what they don't know. Right? And then it goes on until they're aware of your product, right? And so how you tell a story at each stage of the journey will depend on where they are and who you're talking to.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Hello Indran.
Hi.
My name is Yuanita. I came from a medicated cosmetical company, one of the largest in Indonesia, called Surya Dermato. We try to establish our e-commerce team in our company. So my highlight about your presentation is the golden gap. Because I think golden gap is very important to make stories between our company and our customer. Can you give us tips how to find the exact golden gap between us and our customers? Thank you.
Okay, for that, let me just, I told you I have a lot of slides which I couldn't share with you, unfortunately, but there's one that answers this question, okay, that I want to share with you, okay. Have you heard of this thing called significant objects, okay, where this guy, he was on eBay, you're an e-commerce company, right? Okay, so on eBay, he bought 100 products for $1 approximately, okay? And he said, how can I tell a story about these products to increase the price? So he bought it and then he immediately resold it again. He bought it on eBay for products like this, simple products, right? So he bought 100 of these products for $125. Okay, 100 products. He got 100 writers to write the description, okay, the description, and then he resold it back, okay. How many times do you think he could sell it for? How many people say double? He could, instead of 125, he could sell it for 250. How many say double? How many say triple? How many say 10 times? How many say 50 times? Okay, he managed to sell it for 65 times more, right? So it is a 64x increase, right? He bought it for $125 and sold it for $8,000. Okay, so this is the power of storytelling. So coming back to you, right? Like how do you want to find it's you need to sell to the story, right? It's the same item, but you can sell to the golden gap, which is the story. In this case, it's anti-aging, for example, where they want to look younger, because I don't want to get into too much detail, but that is a very specific way to do it if you want to write a story about that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi Indran, my name is Joe. I'm working on PFA Mega Life Insurance.
Right.
It's like insurance.
Right.
So I just want to ask your opinion. Like, is this sad or heartwarming story, like Thai insurance, still making sense in every country? So, especially Indonesia only has less than 4% awareness of the insurance.
Right. Okay. So one of my clients is an insurance company here in Indonesia, right? Very large, yes. definitely heartwarming stories are very important because so in the insurance industry, right, there is this term. The heart is closer to the wallet than the head. Okay, the distance between the heart and the head is closer than the distance between the wallet and the head. So always go for the heart, right? So that's how I would say. And the fastest way to get to the heart is through stories. Okay, stories which make people feel something. Okay, thank you.
Hi, John. My name is Enos, and I work as a digital marketing in a wedding organizer. We basically tell stories, but what I want to really ask you about is what makes story goes viral? Because I see the trend nowadays, like people like in Indonesia, especially when they like make stories about, like maybe they make a like black quotes or something, and then it goes viral, and they don't have any like lots of followers, and then they just went viral.
Yeah.
And what makes a story went viral, and what makes a story become easily like approachable, recognizable, and then shareable?
Okay, so look at the screen. These are the top most watched videos on YouTube. Okay, of all time. Okay, most of it are pictures of. These are all viral, right? This answer your question. What makes it viral? They are pictures of babies. They are pictures of little children. They are pictures of cats. Okay, they are this kind of stuff that goes viral. But I want to show you picture position number 8. Okay, that's the case study I want to tell you about. And the case study of Susan Boyle. Have you all watched this video?
Yeah.
Okay, right? 734 million views. Okay, and it is not about cat. Because if you're a brand, unless you're a cat food brand, you can do cats. Okay, it's not about little children. So if you're a company that does little children, you can do. Okay. But this is not. This is about a question of triumph. That means to succeed against all odds. Okay. Now, I suggest if you get a chance to watch this video again and really understand it. Okay. I don't think we have time to play it, but this is a study that actually says what actually goes viral. Okay. So they did a study in Australia, and they found that the story of personal triumph. Okay. So they did a study, and the shared thing is, the research shows that personal triumph is the most viral thing you can do for a video. This is research, okay? But only 3% of videos are actually using this strategy. So this is a massive opportunity for marketers like you, right? To actually have a story of personal triumph, right? Okay, does that answer your question?
Yes,
Thank you. Are we out of time or one question more? Okay, perfect.
Hello, Indra.
Hi.
I'm Kevin, and I do coffee B2B business. So
Right.
my question is, what happens when everyone does storytelling for the SEO? How do we compete in the emotionally subjective level?
Right, okay. So the first thing is, not everyone can do storytelling for SEO, right? There's a way to do it. Just like now, everyone is doing SEO, right? But why only some pages are on page 1? Why are some websites on page 1, right? It's the same answer, right? If everyone does storytelling, there will still be the better storytellers and the not so good storytellers. Yeah, please.
So about like the personal triumph, does it mean like the one that have like the most capital, they're able to discover what is the most personal triumph level story?
So, okay, so when you say personal triumph, right, what it means is that if you watch that video, okay, this is like Britain Got Talent, okay? Everyone comes and does their little dance and then they go away, okay? And then they have the 3 judges, okay? So this lady, she came, she looks like the lady who carries the rubbish on the street, you know? Really badly dressed, and she comes in, and all the judges are like, okay, you know, you're wasting our time, but anyway, you're already in the show. Yeah, just do the thing. You know, they all got the face, right? And then she takes the mic and she starts, wow, her voice is so beautiful. She sings like an angel, okay? Everybody in the whole thing was like, you know, she's useless, right? And then after that, they were like, wow, she's wonderful, you know? And that is something that every one of us, every one of you have experienced before. Every one of you have experienced that rejection in your life. You've experienced being laughed at. You've experienced being ashamed. You've experienced something horrible in your life, okay? And the moment you see that, you immediately could connect with her, okay? You could connect with her. When you first saw her, you moved away from her. You know why? Because it reminded you of you, how bad you were, and you don't want to go there. You know, so you were like, yeah, I don't like you. You know, she dresses bad, she's horrible. But when she had that amazing voice, that one skill that she had made up for all the bad that she had, right? And it was positive. And then suddenly you said, wow, because inside of all of you, there is one amazing skill that you have, right? And you connected with that. You said, wow, you know what? That's exactly my situation. I really want her to win. I really want the best for her. I'm going to share this video because it's so inspiring. I want to share it with my friend. I want to share it with my family. I want to talk about it. Oh, did you hear about Susan Boyle? Oh my God, I hope she wins or whatever. Because you are rooting for her. Okay? So that's what it means by personal triumph. That means she won over an impossible thing. And the best part is, it's not made up. It's a real situation. Thank you. Okay, thank you everyone. You can connect with me on LinkedIn. Let me see whether I have, yes I do. Okay. You can connect with me on LinkedIn. You can go to my website, which is my name, indran.com, and connect with me there as well. I do have a cheat sheet of the 7 storylines, okay, which I didn't have time to present today because we didn't have time, but I'm happy to connect with you on email or on LinkedIn, or you can connect with me on Facebook or Instagram or whatever, right? And I will send that. I'll send that information to you. Hopefully, let's start story selling. Let's start selling, and let's get to page 1 on Google. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Imran. Imran, can you please stay on stage?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.